Yo, what's up, y'all? Today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite series of games that has been dormant in the last few years, and that's 3D Ninja Gaiden series. Does anyone else miss them? I sure do. First game came out in 2004 on the original Xbox. It was developed by Team Ninja and published by Tecmo. It was a reboot of the classic franchise that had its roots in the arcade, but got its fame from the excellent trilogy of games on the Nintendo Entertainment System. When the first 3D Ninja Gaiden came out, it was considered the most difficult 3D-based action game on the market. Nowadays we have Dark Souls, but back then Ninja Gaiden was considered the hardest. I can say for certain now though that Dark Souls is definitely harder. With Ninja Gaiden, you didn't have to worry about a stamina bar. You could block forever and you could dodge forever as well. I'm not saying that being a harder game is necessarily a better thing. In fact, I had much more fun playing Ninja Gaiden than I did during the 50 hours I tried to beat Dark Souls 1. Ninja Gaiden is much more fast-paced, and you have more freedom in how you can play the game. For example, you can be aggressive and in the fray, or you can try to pick off foes one by one around the perimeter. You can jump off the walls either vertically or horizontally to do lightning quick attacks. If you're having trouble against the boss, you can farm money and max out the number of potions you can bring to the battle. They're called elixirs of spiritual life here. Ninja Gaiden is much faster than Dark Souls, so I think that's where some people might find it more difficult. Some people might not be able to handle the speed, but I think the speed makes the game easier rather than harder. But some people think fast games are harder. A lot of people prefer slower games. They prefer Mario over Sonic. A lot of people love Super Castlevania 4. I think it's too slow. I prefer most any other mainline Castlevania to Castlevania 4. Ninja Gaiden 1 on the original Xbox was a critical darling. It was a reboot, and people love reboots that are done well, like Metroid Prime. But when the sequels come out, they don't seem to get as good of review scores. Not that the games are any worse, just the review scores seem to be worse. The sequel, Ninja Gaiden 2, was released in 2008 on the Xbox 360. It was a long-awaited sequel to one of the original Xbox's best exclusives. Back then you had the PS2, GameCube, and the Xbox, and all the fanboys and fangirls were fighting about which system had the best exclusives, and Ninja Gaiden was ammunition for all the Xbox fan children. In fact, the developer of Ninja Gaiden, Team Ninja, was renowned for their excellent exclusives on the original Xbox, like Dead or Alive 3, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, stuff like that. They were known for their technical prowess, their mastery of cranking out visuals on a console that were second to none. So suffice it to say, I was eagerly anticipating their efforts on the then next-gen Xbox 360. Ninja Gaiden 2 didn't disappoint on any front. It was the no-nonsense version of Ninja Gaiden. I know that the first game had higher review scores, but in my and many other gamers' opinions who are not professional game reviewers, the second one was a more fun, better game. It took out all the unnecessary adventure stuff like finding keys and backtracking, and focused on the pure action. I loved it. It is still my favorite 3D character action game of all time. It introduced even more playable weapons. Some of them were from Ninja Gaiden Sigma, the remake on PS3. So you could have dual katanas. The graphics were amazing and still look great today. After Ninja Gaiden 2, the director of the game, Tomonobu Itagaki, and many of his development staff left Team Ninja and Tecmo, and the series was never same again. That's not to say that Ninja Gaiden 3 was a terrible game. It wasn't a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, but it was kind of a letdown. Seems like many games suffer from having a great first game, godlike second game, and disappointing third game, like Streets of Rage for example. Although I did buy and beat Ninja Gaiden 3 on the 360, I bought it again on the Wii U when it was released as Razor's Edge. I got the Wii U after it launched in either February or March 2013. It was the first game I got after the bundle, which was Nintendo Land. And amid all the stress and anxiety of law school, Ninja Gaiden 3 brought joy back into my life. I remember fighting one of the first bosses is a helicopter boss, and I remember fighting that boss over and over, way into the night, but I loved every minute of it. I hadn't gamed in months, and I felt alive. I felt like myself for the first time. I felt like I had denied a portion of myself while I was going through law school. Felt like I was punishing myself, and the only way I could succeed at law school was to punish myself and just to not be myself. But playing that game again, I felt the inner gaming ninja awakening. You know what I mean? Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z came out in 2014, but I don't consider it part of the franchise. I never bought it, and we gamers can't be suckered into buying games just because they have a brand name on it. So considering that Razor's Edge came out in 2012 for Wii U and the other systems in 2013, last year at E3 when I was watching the Microsoft press conference, we saw, well, the first teaser for this next game I'm going to talk about came out during the Game Awards in 2017, but the official reveal trailer, where they revealed the name of the game, came out in 2018 at E3, at Microsoft's E3 press conference. So when I first saw the trailer for Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, my first reaction was, Ninja Gaiden? Ninja Gaiden 4? Unfortunately, I was wrong, but beggars can't be choosers. Sekiro may be the closest thing to a new Ninja Gaiden game we see in a while, or ever. I know it's not by the same developers, but it's a ninja action game, although their approaches to action differ greatly. Itagaki and his team made a new studio, Valhalla Game Studios, and made Devil's Third for the Wii U. It came out in 2015. I liked it. I thought it was good, but the online service was discontinued only a year after release, and Devil's Third Online, the PC game, is nowhere to be seen in North America. More than likely, their time together is done, and their team will disperse into the game industry and do different things, if they haven't done that already. Team Ninja is still alive, but they are focused on Dead or Alive and Neo. I wish they would make Ninja Gaiden 4. Even if it's not as good as Ninja Gaiden 2, I would give it a try. I think it would still be good. Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden is one of my favorite characters in the world of gaming, so it's nice to see him fight hand to hand in Dead or Alive, but I want to see Ryu slice up ninjas and monsters once again. Tell me if you agree. Thank you for joining me on another video. Just wanted to put my wishes out there for a new Ninja Gaiden game. I hope other people agree. I think Ninja Gaiden was ahead of its time, and with people liking hard games, I think a lot of people would give Ninja Gaiden 4 a chance. So Tecmo, Team Ninja, or even Valhalla Game Studios has an inkling of a desire to make it. I think they should. I think Ninja Gaiden might not have been fully appreciated in its time, but I think the time is now. The conditions are right. Ninja Gaiden 4 for PS5, Xbox 4, and Nintendo Switch Pro. Oh yes, have a good day.